Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Clark. I'm coming to you from the confines of my beautiful office at Memorial. I'm here to read chapter 25. Okay, and here we go. When Mr. Colander instructed us to take out our pencils for the big math quiz, I almost raised my hand and asked, "What math quiz? Today? Wasn't that next week? I thought the test wasn't until March 27th. Oh, today was March 27th. I wrote my name on the top of the page, and it was downhill from there. It usually takes Mr. Colander a week to return our tests. That would be after we got a dog. Or a cat. No, a dog. So even if I missed every question, I'd still have a dog. And have somebody to play with after I was grounded for the rest of my natural-born life for flunking math. Besides, this wasn't my fault. Not really. Sure, I forgot about the test. Yes, I was doing lousy at school. But how was I supposed to concentrate when I saw signs from Lexi everywhere? When she smirked at me from across the dinner table? When Malcolm was becoming the world's greatest soccer player? But at least Malcolm was on my side, unlike my dreadful sister and her stupid signs. The school hallways were filled with them. I think everyone running for student body president hired her. There were dozens of glitter-gored signs on every wall with expressions like, "Think big and vote for Sam Sprigg," and "Good golly, vote Molly Myerson," and "Punch your ticket for Erica Rickett." It was enough to make you queasy and wish someone was running for office whose name didn't rhyme with anything. I picked up a new dog for a walk that day. Barker was a Siberian husky. He had a thick white coat, and the top of his head was black. He was all panting tongue and wagging tail. Barker also had the deepest blue eyes you'd ever seen. Eyes that just made you want to wrap your arms around him and give him a hug. Some dogs you want to roll around with, and others you want to run with, and others you want to stand back from and treat with respect and dignity. But with Barker, you wanted to hug him. He had a great smile, too. A smile that made you feel all warm inside, like you were wrapped in a warm, woolly blanket. Hugging dogs, now that I thought of it, those were probably the best kind of dogs to have. Barker was a medium-sized dog, but pretty thick. Huskies are sled dogs, so they're powerful and have lots of stamina. That wasn't the sort of dog I was going to tire out. If you buy 10 dog walking appointments now, they're only $50. That's a savings of $20. I told Mrs. Munson, Barker's owner, $20? I thought you charged $6 for a walk. Isn't that a saving of $10? That's what I meant, I mumbled. Stupid math. She only had $25 in her wallet, but I told her that would be good for 5 more walks. She seemed hesitant until I assured her I was the most responsible dog walker on the planet. And did Barker have any eating problems, like with vanilla ice cream? Barker didn't. I sold a package to Buttercup's owner, too, although she said she would only pay $40 for 10 walks. Take it or leave it. I took it. $40 is $40. Just like that, I was back in the race. I was practically wealthy. I felt like the king of the world. I put the money in my pocket, adding to an already sizable wad of cash. Ever since I'd snuck into Lexi's room, I had carried most of the money with me. If I accidentally took $20 from her, she could do the same to me, so I didn't like leaving my money unguarded. Even though my shoebox was way in the back of my closet behind a pair of shoes, and just not any shoes, but the smallest shoes I owned. Even I hated going near them. Of course, if she took money from me, that would clearly be stealing. But I hadn't stolen from her. She practically owed me $20. For a lifetime of being annoying, that $20 was rightfully mine. Right. Maybe if I thought it enough, I'd start believing it. "Come on, Barker," I said. Mush. He bounded forward, but not before flashing me a smile. I bent right down in the middle of our walk and gave him a hug. Sometimes you just have to hug a dog. With my dog walking subscriptions, the only thing that could stop me now was a horrible 4-letter word, Lexi. She had to be close to $500. In fact, every time I came home, I cringed, half expecting a cat to jump out at me. When I got home from dog walking, I cringed when I woke up. I cringed. "Why are you cringing so much?" Mom asked. "No reason," I said, cringing. I got home from walking Barker and I cringed, of course, but the house was still catless. So I uncringed. As I went upstairs, I passed Lexi coming down. She had a way of crawling under my skin. Just looking at her brought a frown to my face. "Only a few days left," she grinned. "Getting close." "Of course," I snarled. "Piece of cake." "Cake. And we know what a good baker you are," she giggled. "Made any chocolate chip cookies lately?" I frowned. "Sorry," she said, and she sounded like she almost meant it. But she couldn't fool me, not for a nanosecond. "The only thing I'll be burning is you, when I smoke you in this pet battle." Lexi rolled her eyes. "Maybe you can bake me some cat cookies for a fluffernutter." "We are not getting a cat," I yowled. We are getting a dog," she hissed. As she walked down the steps, I paused in front of her room, fuming. I'd wipe that grin from her face. I'd show her that she wasn't better than me at everything. I pushed open her door. A dozen posters sat on the floor, taunting me with their glitter and perfect lettering. Lexi's nightstand stared at me, too, with beady, evil dresser eyes. It practically dared me to look inside the jewelry box again. I took a deep breath and thought of that $20 bill still sitting in my room. I turned and left. I could beat her my way, fair and square, she'd see. But as I walked to my room and put my hand on my doorknob to turn it, I saw a Post-it note stuck on the door. It had glitter poured on it and a single word, meow. That did it. She couldn't mock me and get away with it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I clomped to Lexi's room and threw open her door. I was sick of her. Sick, sick, sick. I picked up her signs, put them under my arm, and marched back out. I threw the boards on my bed and took out the scissors from my top desk drawer. I'd show Little Miss Perfect. Let her try to win with all her posters cut into tiny pieces. I grabbed the first poster in the pile, a green one that was almost finished. It said, PTA Bake Sale, and blew it, but smaller, cookies and cake, all freshly baked. This would be the first victim. Which seemed fitting. I bet the cookies only had one chocolate chip in them, if any. I slowly closed the scissors, cutting the poster's edge. I snipped some more. The slice grew longer, almost reaching the glitter, and I stopped. My hands trembled. I dropped the scissors. A bead of sweat dripped from my forehead and landed on one of the posters, smearing a letter. I took a step back. I couldn't do it. I don't know what felt worse, cutting Lexi's sign or realizing I couldn't go through with the sabotage. I was aware of how hard I was working. Lexi was working just as hard. I knew all is fair in war. I knew it's kill or be killed. I knew war is not for the squeamish. But I thought about what Mom said. This wasn't war. Not really. It was family. Maybe winning wasn't everything. Maybe. The board had a small slice in it, only about a few inches long. I hoped Lexi wouldn't notice. I put the posters back in her room. I think I put them back in the right places. Okay, guys, we'll see you later.